welcome to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him at GodsFiveMinutes@gmail.com. Now, here's Ed Wilson with God's 5 Minutes.
Hello, friends. David's 17th Psalm, which is rich in expressions and characterizations that are clearly drawn directly from the experiences of Israel's favorite shepherd boy, is a fervent cry to God for deliverance from ruthless enemies who will be satisfied with nothing less than his total destruction. The psalm begins with David's confident testimony of his innocence and spiritual purity. When we read through the verses, we gather a picture of the inward beauty of this greatest of Israel's kings, apparently before the deadly failure that so twisted and marred the latter part of his reign. The words are fresh with the optimism of youth, one who has been taught the things of God and confidently accepted them as the lodestar of his life. David's testimony is followed by a discussion, given here in no particular order, of the pursuits of his enemies. Verse 9 reads, "The wicked that oppress me." The word translated oppress means to deal with violently. These people wanted to hurt David. Verse 10 says they are enclosed in their own fat. The literal meaning of this is they have shut up their hearts, which means these people are so ugly and arrogant they will not listen to any explanation showing why they should not be so vindictive against you. No matter the right or wrong of your case, they are determined to hunt you, to withstand you in everything you do. Verse 11 says they have compassed our steps. The comparison here is to a band of hunters, maybe using tracking dogs, following eagerly on your trail and searching with hot eyes for every clue that might reveal your hiding place. Part of the verse reads, "With their mouth they speak proudly." This meant everywhere David went, he met somebody else with another ferocious story of what his enemies intended to do to him when they caught him, of how hopeless is his case and how few friends he had left. Another part of the verse reads, "They have set their eyes to cast me down to the earth." He is like a lion that is greedy of his prey, and as it were a young lion lurking in secret places. Have you ever seen pictures of a lion or leopard stalking his prey? How the wild beast crouches, slinks forward a few inches at a time, keen claws digging into the earth, ready to launch the charge with lightning speed and a paralyzing roar. The big cat's eyes sharpen and become fixed pitilessly on the little deer, whose life he means to tear away. David had seen that look in the eyes of the lion who came to steal a lamb from his father's flock, and he knew it meant murder. He saw it now in the faces of his foes. All these things are as much as to say that everywhere David looked in the world of men, he saw people who were either deadly pursuers or possibly someone among his trusted inner circle who might be bribed or frightened into betraying him. Where was he to look in such a time as this? Well, maybe most of us will never be in quite so extreme peril as was this man of God, and that because of Samuel's having anointed him king. Yet the inspiration God gave David is echoed down through the centuries still and stands, as it always has and always will, to fortify us today. The 8th verse of the 17th Psalm reads, "Keep me as the apple of thy eye. Hide me under the shadow of thy wings." What's the most sensitive part of your body? Not even the smallest thing can get into your eye without your feeling it. The apple is what we would call the pupil, the very center. This verse is God's way of telling David not to be overwhelmed with dread from the threatening malice surrounding him. One greater than all these enemies had prepared a table for him in their very presence, and he and God together would sit there to safely dine. We have the advantage of reading the 17th Psalm thousands of years after it was written. We know the end of the story, how that although David had many a heart-stopping moment, in the end, no javelin pierced his skin, no enemy hand prevailed against him. He died peacefully in his own bed. He wants to protect you and me too. Have you talked to him today?
You have been listening to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him by email at GodsFiveMinutes@gmail.com. Tune in next time to hear more encouraging thoughts from God's Word on God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson.